All right, somehow we are not, the opening is not
You doing good?
working here today.
Cool. Doing good.
I don't know why, but here we are, Ham on WTBR FM. I am not sure why our opening.
Morning, everybody.
Did
Good
not.
morning.
So
We're here on
just,
Ham On.
Yeah, so we're just going to
With
stall
Peter and
here
Jess.
for a minute because apparently our opening is not
But
working.
we move on.
We move on.
Yeah.
We move on.
We move on into the
we
show.
move
Good
on.
morning.
Good morning.
morning.
Good morning.
9
good
o'clock.
morning.
Yes, it is, and,
Yes, it is.
and you're hearing our
Here we are.
voices. You're hearing our voices again.
If you're hearing our
As in-
voices,
because
Morning, Vietnam!
WTBR FM, Pittsfield.
Welcome to Ham on WTBR, the all-inclusive ham radio show for hams and non-hams alike. Be part of the show. Contact us on www.facebook.com/HamJamTV. And now the hosts of the show, Peter and Jessica. Ham on.
Okay, now we are officially here.
that's a
Now
nice
the show.
danceable track.
Now did the show open wanted to work? Oh, my goodness.
Okay, that's kind of the problem with live TV, but we are officially here now.
We've landed.
We've landed.
We've landed the ship
We
in
made
the
it.
studio.
We made it. Yes.
We did.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yes, we're here again. I guess everybody heard us on Monday for the Beatles Forever show. So it's 4 to 6
Nice.
on
Came out beautifully,
On WTBR
I have to
FM.
say.
Did you hear it?
I did.
You can hear it down there
Very
now, huh?
nice.
We're back at full power.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Full power.
It took us to
TBR.
midnight. It took us to midnight to edit that show.
I know.
There was a couple of little snafus, and one of them
well.
that during Day Tripper the microphone was like constantly on.
Oh, well.
So we had to edit it, but this week's show is in the can. Monday's show is in the can, and
Yes,
it's
yes.
a lot better off. In fact, we're going to have new microphones that we're working with next when we do the next show on Monday. So
That's the Beatles Forever show, not this one.
not this one. This
No.
one's
This one's.
we got the good stuff on this one.
Yeah, we do. This is the good stuff.
Yeah, I went ahead. I got a new mic for us for it. So
There you go.
Yay.
There you go.
New microphone. At least you waited for 2 minutes to throw me under the bus. Let me see. What do I want to start with? Here we go.
So now we have the news
Yes, we
with
have
Jess.
the news.
With Jess.
There is a possible fifth force of nature that has been found.
What? Talk to me.
Over the years, humans have come up with 4 forces of nature that can be used to describe every interaction in the physical world. There is gravity,
Gravity.
electromagnetism,
Electromagnetism.
the weak nuclear force that causes particles to decay.
Okay.
So decay.
Okay.
And the strongest nuclear force that binds quarks into atoms.
What's
So,
that called?
They don't really
Okay.
They
Cool.
didn't
So what's the
put the name
fifth?
to it.
I'm excited. What's the fifth?
What's the fifth? Please
together-
tell us.
Yeah.
Together, they have become the standard of particle physics, but the existence of dark matter makes the model seem incomplete. Surely there must be another force or forces that can explain both its existence and the reason for the darkness. Hungarian scientists from the Atomic Nuclear Research Institute, led by Professor Attila, I'm gonna butcher the heck
All right.
out
Show
of the
me.
last
Show me.
name.
I'm good with names. Where is it?
They are
Oh.
they're desperately searching.
Sorry, I'm not good with that name.
Okay,
Woo!
Well,
Krasnohorke.
There you go. Close enough.
yes. Krasnohorke.
Close enough for community radio.
enough.
I mean, I'm sure it's
This is not
pronounced much more.
other way.
This is not
Pronounced much-
ABC. It's
yeah.
close enough for community radio.
I'm sure
Yeah,
it's
seriously.
pronounced more elegantly in other circles.
Believe they have found a fifth force of nature. While monitoring a excited helium atoms decay, I wonder how excited it was. I mean, was it like, yay?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Okay, that's it. I'm done. Bye.
No. The
Guys can run the rest of the show without me today.
They observed it emitting light, which is not unusual. What is unusual is that the particles split at a precise angle of 115 degrees, as though they were knocked off course by an invisible force.
Invisible force.
Use the force, Luke.
Exactly.
Use the force. The scientists dubbed this particle X17.
It was a Jedi that did it.
Yeah.
Apparently, because they calculated the mass at 17 mega electron volts.
Don't look at me. I have no idea.
X17. I like it.
1 electron volt describes the kinetic energy gained by a single atom as it moves from 0 volts to a potential of 1 volt.
Okay.
Interesting.
So a mega electron volt is equal to the energy which an electron moves from 0 to 1 million volts.
Cool. Okay.
So apparently that puppy decided to go from 0 to let's knock everybody on their butt.
Nice.
And for you,
For me?
last week...
Are we talking to me,
We're
Susie?
talking to you,
For
Susie.
me. Okay.
Last week, you said, "Oh, well, the trivia question was too easy. You're throwing softballs."
Yeah, you were
When we
throwing
had John
softballs. I
Fritzy
mean,
here.
let's be
Not-
real.
Not today.
Okay. All right. What do you got for us, Peter?
The trivia question for today. Before he died in 1999, this ham used his first name when talking to other hams on the radio, but his loyal subjects probably addressed him as Your Highness. Who is it?
Ooh.
We'll find out. We will find out at the end of the show.
Okay.
Local news. What's up on the local news agenda? We'll get the.
You're done throwing me under the bus from the ham radio news. So let's go to the local news. Am I right?
That's kind of how it works. Yeah.
I thought I was supposed to throw you under the bus.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
tides have changed in the new
Yes.
year.
Yes.
No, they haven't.
2020. It's a different energy, man.
Well, one of it is open burning season begins in Pittsfield.
Oh.
Pittsfield, Mass.
Should we really be discussing open
Pittsfield-
burning on Pittsfield, on the radio?
I know, right? Pittsfield, rejoice.
Listen. January 15 marks the day that burn permits can be obtained in the city of Pittsfield for
Wow,
open
I'm a
burning.
few days late.
For open burning season. The season runs from January 15th to May 1st, and permits can be obtained at all firehouses in the city of Pittsfield as well as online. There's a place to talk to get your permit. That would be the fire department headquarters on Columbus Ave. You have to go to Columbus Ave to go get them. It's for like burning your trash after spring cleaning and stuff.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and basically burn hole permits.
Sure.
You can also go to engine one at 331 West Houstonic. You can go to pretty much any engine house, firehouse, etc. You may only burn all materials that are illegal. You know, lead. You know,
Sticks.
sticks, leaves, stuff like that. You
Leaves.
can't
No
burn
burning
glass.
trash.
No burning trash.
No burning
Over
trash.
there on
burning
the other
glass.
side of the studio.
Yeah, what? Why are you
Don't come
looking
to
at me?
Pittsfield and start burning trash.
Start burning my trash.
Yeah, and
All
also,
right, Pittsfield, listen up.
Also, on top of
Sticks
that,
and leaves, baby.
Also, on top of that, you have to be 18. And guys, if you
Oh.
are going to burn,
Guys and gals.
please make it a minimum of 75 feet away from the building. And also, on top of that, you can only burn up to 4 p.m.
Yeah, wicked smart.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Maybe.
All right, so another ham radio news. Oh, probably the topic today. We will be talking with Bob Dillon, KT2D, who will be here at the bottom of the hour.
Okay.
And we'll be talking, amongst other things, the Capital District Traffic Net,
Ooh.
which is out there in eastern New York, which I believe you can still get on Echolink. It's a traffic net. And Bob will tell us all about it when he...
so.
His name is Bob Dillon.
Bob Dillon.
Bob Dillon's in the studio.
Yeah, in
Peter,
the studio
you're-
on the
you're-
phone.
Oh, on the phone.
KT2D.
Peter, you're amazing. You bring in the best guests.
Yes. Yeah, I try.
Yep.
I really try. Let's see. The Register reports the 3 ISPs will be fined $25,000 apiece by America's broadcasting watchdog, the FCC, for interfering with weather signals in Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Boom Solutions, Integral Wireless, and WinPR were all found to be using devices for their point-to-point broadband that were misconfigured, according to the regulator this week. This caused interference with a Doppler weather radar station at San Juan International Airport.
Oh.
The weather station is used to detect potentially dangerous weather patterns such as wind shear, and so any interference is potentially life-threatening, the FCC noted. It's good to see the FCC finally came to Puerto Rico's defense after the extraordinary failure that helped the island after it's devastated by Hurricane Maria in 2017. The failure saw the agency heavily criticized by the General Accountability Office and its own commissioner, Jessica Rosenworcel. I wonder how Acebel's doing. You know, the big Acebel network is down there, the space telescope that, if anybody's ever familiar with SETI,
Oh, really?
that's what they use for the SETI home thing. Susie's looking at me
nice.
like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I have
There's so
plenty.
many
I have plenty of
aspects.
ideas of what you're talking about.
You know what SETI is?
Of course. A very good friend of mine lives right next to the very large array in New Mexico.
It's not in New Mexico.
Yeah, it is.
Acebo's in Puerto Rico.
Acebo.
They use
is in Puerto
Acebo.
Rico.
They
They
use
don't
Acebo.
use. They don't use the VLA.
They've been using Acebo for as long as I know for SETI.
Oh, I thought they used both.
They use, as far as I know, because when I was doing it, it was always
Well, when was that? How many years, Peter?
last year.
Okay, I thought we were talking like, well, in the 70s.
Ha! I didn't throw you in the bus. She did.
Right.
You know how
See?
big the computers were in the 70s?
Yeah, I know.
If you look at
I
our
know.
transmitter back here, that's about the whole room was
That's
the
a nice,
computers.
it's a nice looking
in the
transmitter
70s.
over there.
Yeah, come to find out, that's
Yeah.
the new. That's the new. If anybody's wondering, that's the new one.
They can't see it. I can't
And
point the
what,
camera
one-
that far.
And what, the black one?
The little
over
black
in
case
the
down here,
corner?
I think, is the old one. But Acebo is what is the space telescope that they use for SETI. There's the search for extraterrestrial intelligent life thing that you get on your computer. You can analyze the data. I think back 1980
It's
something.
It's Arecibo.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said Acebo. I'm just being picky.
Apparently. Do you want to come
I'm
back
looking
here
it up.
and do this?
I do.
I go home and-
All right, that's it, Peter.
come
You're
here.
yeah.
You can run the board. I can sit there and throw people under the bus
That's
all
right.
morning.
That's right. You could be a heckler.
Just what we need. Anyway, anyway, I wonder how that's holding out through Hurricane Maria, through the earthquakes. I saw the earthquake thing from the USGS today, and there's a whole bunch of little dots all over the southern end of Puerto Rico. So Susie's actually looking it up. So she'll probably have an answer to us. So for those who don't know what Acebo is, it's the space telescope.
Arecibo.
Arecibo. It's a space telescope array in Puerto Rico. We actually send signals out, and we listen for signals to come back. And if anybody's familiar with the home program SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligent life thing.
It was damaged during Hurricane Maria, it says.
I know that. I'm talking
Hurricane
about
battled.
the earthquakes, not Hurricane Maria. We know it was damaged during it. Anyway, you can use SETI, and you can download the program, and you can actually analyze the data. And you might be the one who picks out that alien signal.
Yeah, I remember you had that on a computer when I was, I believe, still going to high school.
Okay, let's not date me now.
No, I'm dating myself, which is bad.
Let's not date me. All right, we're gonna go. We gotta go to commercial. I gotta get out of this. We're gonna go to the commercial, and we will.
Of course you are.
We're gonna go to the break, and we'll be back in just a little bit. You're listening to Ham On.
You're listening to Ham On WTBR.
Are you ready, kids? I can't hear you.
WTBR.
This is an actual email sent to the National Fatherhood Initiative.
Hello. I'm 12 years old. I haven't seen my dad for 4 years. I write, and he doesn't write back. I don't know why. Could you help me to get him to talk to me?
Is somebody missing you? The most precious gift you can give your children is your time and yourself. A public service message from the NFI and the Ad Council.
WTBR radar weather for the Pittsfield area. Tonight, partly cloudy. Cold with lows around 6 above. Temperature rising to around 11 after midnight. Northwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wind chill values as low as 9 below after midnight. Wednesday, sunny. Not as cool with highs in the lower 30s. West wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wind chill values as low as 2 below in the morning. Wednesday night, mostly clear in the evening, then becoming partly cloudy. Cold with lows around 13. West wind around 5 miles per hour. Weather forecasts for WTBR FM are provided by the National Weather Service.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942. WTBR. Impressive. Most impressive.
WTBR radar weather for the Pittsfield area.
Take it down.
Tonight.
What's it say? Shut up. What'd that mean? You too?
And we're back on Ham On at WTBR FM. Coming up in a little while, we'll have Bob on the phone, KT2D. But give you a little thing here. The ARRL reports at its meeting this weekend, the ARRL Board of Directors did not elect Howard Mitchell, WB2ITX, as the ARRL Chief Executive Officer. On Monday, January 20th, Barry Shelley, N1VXY, will become interim CEO. Mr. Shelley was ARRL's Chief Financial Officer for 28 years and CEO during the 2018 before his retirement. The board has created a search committee to select the next CEO. More details on this and other matters took place at the board meeting, which will be released shortly. So now we've been kind of had our studio busy here, and the show has been really busy. Today's kind of a not so busy day, so we can actually get back to doing the top 10s, or the worst top 10s, or the worst stuff for the best stuff, and the stuff that's happened in 2019.
Stuff and things and stuff.
So, well, give us some of your top 10 lists that we now have time for today.
Let me see.
What's the category? Like top 10 anything? Just like top 10 things?
Well, she's got she's got a couple of lists.
Okay, now did you make those lists, Jess? Did you find them?
I found them mostly. I have. Well, which one do you want? Do you want movies, songs, apps, or anime?
I want movies.
Movies.
I want movies.
She said movies.
Yeah, I said movies.
Movies. Let me see. At top 10 was Hustlers.
What? All right.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay. All right, keep going.
Number 9 was A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
What? Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was
Tom
really,
Hanks
really...
is Fred Rogers.
Yep.
Oh, wait. No. I didn't see A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I saw the actual documentary about...
That's the movie based on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah, right. I saw the documentary. It was beautiful, actually. It was really nice.
Number 8 was Dolomite Is My Name, which is a Eddie Murphy movie.
Dolomite is a type of limestone. You geological nerds.
This is why we have you here to tell us this information that no one's ever going to ask.
Right. It's
we'll
a
put
type
it
of
out
limestone. Just, yeah.
What? Come on.
Yeah. All right. Go for it, girl.
Number 7 was Knives Out, which I heard was a hit actually.
Oh, okay.
And the funniest thing is the director is the same director that did Last Jedi, Dad. It's Ray.
J.J. Abrams?
No, Ray.
Oh, Rain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what's the movie?
Yeah, Ryan.
What's the movie?
Knives Out.
Ryan.
Spit it out. Oh, Knives Out. Okay.
Number 6 was Parasite.
Oh.
Which I don't know that.
Now, this is
much
the
about.
best movies of 2019?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the best movies. Number 5 was Little Women.
I heard that was great, and I read that book about 14 times when I was a kid. I really loved it.
Yeah,
I loved that book.
I haven't read it actually, but
it's a really interesting. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting story. I think you would like it a lot, actually.
This one's gonna make Dad laugh. Number 4 was Marriage Story, which is Adam Driver's new movie with Scarlett Johansson.
Marriage Story.
And the funny is, I got some info
now, hang
on
on.
it.
Do you know who Adam Driver is?
I do know who Adam Driver is.
Do you?
Yeah, he's the guy from Marriage Story.
Well,
no.
Wait.
He's from Star Wars, right? He's like some dark Lord.
Wait a minute.
The Dark Lord.
Wait a minute.
It's time to let old things die. Snoke, Skywalker, the Sith, the Jedi, the Rebels, let it all die.
Do you just have Adam Driver clips?
Adam Driver is Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi.
Okay, Kylo Ren. Okay.
I wanted to put you on the...
Everybody wants to be Kylo Ren.
Little tidbit on that is a movie about Adam Driver's character and Scarlett Johansson. They're going through a divorce, and it highlights the drama and ups and downs of going through a divorce.
So what a career from Daisy Ridley, who plays Rey on the last three Star Wars films, to Scarlett Johansson.
And the thing is, he's actually nominated for an Oscar for Marriage Story.
It was like Hayden Christensen when he started with 3 movies with Natalie Portman in the prequels for Star Wars films.
But yeah. And if you want to go there, Rise of Skywalker actually has 3 nominations, and it's still in the movies. I'm still trying to figure that out. How do you nominate a movie that's still in the movies?
Because the movie, despite what the critics say, the movie is that good. Anyway,
right.
So
well, they have a whole system where they send previews to all of.
Do you have like the worst movies? Because I know a couple of them. I know like 3 of them right off the top of my head.
She's not even finished with the best movies, Peter. I think we keep talking over her.
Can we like move along here?
Yeah. Number 3 was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is Quentin Tarantino.
I saw that one.
The second one is The Irishman. Which
that was Netflix, and it was like 4 hours long, something like that.
And
kind of like Once Upon a Time in America. Did you see that with Robert De Niro? Anyway,
heard about it. Yeah,
it's a good one. Okay, what's number 1, girl?
Number 1 is Pain and Glory.
What? I haven't heard of
I haven't heard.
I think I
that
live
one
under
either,
a rock.
but I'm like,
So right off the top of my head, you want to guess 3 of the worst movies of 2019?
Gemini Man.
Gemini Man
Really?
is one.
That was so
Gemini
bad.
Man, really.
So
Will
bad.
Smith.
I'm gonna have to say Cats was one of
Cats is
Cats,
one.
okay,
The new
and-
Terminator 2 Terminator movie.
Okay.
them. Oh, really?
Oh, I'm sure it's terrible. Did you see it?
No,
Oh,
but I've
good.
read the
Fate.
reviews of Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Oh, like
and
Dark-
Eddie
Oh.
Furlong,
Oh, Dark Fate.
Dark Fate. So that's like 3 of
That's
the
depressing.
of the
Yeah, that is.
top movies
Wow.
that were bad for
Well-
2019.
Well, Cats I can see. You can't go, somebody should have looked at, movies that went from plays to movies and see that they bombed. They usually bomb because,
All
the
right,
loyal
so
fans.
let's go to
They already know the story. They're not going to go see a movie about it.
let's go to apps really quick. What are the best apps of 2019?
Let me see. The best app.
Just read the list.
Just read the list. No commentary. I'll zip my lip. How about that?
The top 5, of course, was Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Spotify, and the Google Play. Store.
I love Spotify.
Google Play Music.
And Facebook owns most of that stuff.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
WhatsApp. They own WhatsApp.
I know they own. I know they own WhatsApp.
Instagram.
Yeah, they own Instagram. Mhm.
I'm surprised Instagram wasn't on the list.
Instagram is on
Yeah.
the list for
Hello.
top
Hello.
for top 10.
Instagram is on the list.
But yeah, wow.
Oh well, there were no surprises in there.
no
I was
surprises
I was
in there.
hoping for a few surprises. Maybe they were top rated new apps or something like that.
And for anybody
But
who
we all
hasn't
know.
caught on, Windows 7 has lost their support.
Oh,
Aw, that sucks.
Microsoft has stopped Windows 7, so any ham radio operators out there or anybody out there who's using Win 7 for any of their little
Well, I
toys.
guess-
Aren't you using Win 7 for your DJ software?
I'm using Win 7 for everything.
Like everything, yeah.
My Echo
don't
Link.
tell me we have to do. Don't tell me we have to upgrade to Win 10.
No,
now.
no, because
Win 10 has a nasty history
Yeah,
of
my-
bricking freaking system.
my laptop is bricked because of a Windows 10 update.
Yeah, I know.
We will stick to Win 7. What else you got for us?
I got.
We got plenty of time here. There's not much going on in ham radio news today.
Apparently.
There's a like let me
I got top 10 songs. Some of them are. I don't even know.
Spit it
so-
out, girl.
Let me see. Number 10 was "Crowded Table" by the High Women. I have no idea on
Yeah.
that.
What?
9 was "Shimmer" by Mahila.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. So hot, you're hurting my feelings. Caroline Pochlin. I'm like, what the hell?
What? I don't
I'm
know.
Like, what the heck?
I don't really listen to
Too Much by
pop radio.
Let me see. Too Much by Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh.
Crime Pays by Freddie Gibbs. Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. I have no idea.
All right.
Juice by Lizzo. Welcome to the Party by Pop Smoke. The only reason why I even know the song Welcome to the Party
is because
you
are the party.
Speaking of welcoming,
she is the party.
Speaking of
Mic
welcoming to
Yes.
the party,
Yep.
on the phone is Bob Dillon KT2D.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, hello.
Hi, Bob.
Welcome to WTBR FM here in Pittsfield, Mass. It's nice to have you here. We actually had your section manager on last week. John Fritzy was here.
Oh, nice.
So, Bob,
very nice to be here.
Yes, Bob. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, I don't know how far back I have to go, so I
Go as far
I
back
live...
as you want to go.
Yeah.
So I live in Latham. I work for the Department of the Army at the Watervliet Arsenal for a tenant unit from New Jersey. So we're in basically armaments research and development. My background is I'm a graduate of the military academy, so I had a 21-year career in the Army.
Wow.
I did go to graduate school at RPI, so I taught at West Point and did a few other things, and taught school out in Indiana after I retired, and then I came here in 2000. I was interested in amateur radio at an early age. You know, I was a shortwave listener, and I was, you know, getting ready to go get my novice license because the licensing schemes were a little bit different back then. And you could only be a novice for a year, and then it was non-renewable, so then you had to go up to general, and the code scared me, and the theory scared me. That was about 8 or 10.
Yeah, it's a lot. You were 8 or 10?
Yeah, it was between like 8 and 10. I think 8 I started listening a lot, and then I started, you know, getting the books to study up. Then I got involved with playing hockey and Boy Scouts and other things. And
I played hockey
one thing led to
growing up.
another. Yeah, and I never really did it, but I was always very interested in it. And then when I was here, I just one day I thought, you know what? There's something I've always dragged my radio around with me wherever I went, and so I just decided one day to look into it. So I got licensed in 2007. So you know, for as old as I am, I'm a newcomer to the hobby, although I've been licensed over 10 years now. And then I went progressively upgraded from from tech to general license to extra. And then about a few years after, and I was always interested in Morse code, CW. That was the primary interest. So even though it wasn't a requirement, I studied that and just got active in doing that, which I enjoyed.
How long did it take you to become adept at Morse code?
I'll tell you, a lot quicker than I thought it would, because and it's one of those other things that, you know, there are some people that just have the innate ability, they call it working memory, being able to hear a string of code and not write it down for like a minute, you know.
Right.
That's not me.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think.
Yeah, and there are a number of methods that are available now online, and so with all of the things you can download an app. And what I did was I studied online, and they would have exercises that you would go through, and you learn, you know, key letters, E, I, F. You know, most used letters you do 5 at a time, and then they give you random letters at a speed, and then when you can get those letters and not make them issues, they give you all of them, and then they give you the rest of the alphabet. So for me, it was about 2 months. After about 2 months of maybe 20 minutes every other day, I was able to copy, you know, accurately at like 13 words a minute.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it just kind of snowballs. And then I think my highest certification I did was either 25 or 30. I can't I'd have to look at the certificate, but I really got into it. And then after that, I got into message handling and message traffic with CW nets, and that really helped me a lot too. And I try to do that, you know, get on at least a CW net every night, and that just helps me do that.
Yeah, stay sharp.
So let's talk about the Capital District Traffic Net for 2 reasons. One, because our fringe area for this broadcast is actually just outside of East Greenbush. So we are actually broadcasting to Eastern New York. And 2, if I remember, most of the Capital District Traffic Net you can pick up on Echolink. So you can check into that. So tell us about the Capital District Traffic Net.
Sure, and that was the first net that I became aware of that involved traffic handling. At that time, it was George Burns, W2SFD, who was the net manager, and Bill Eddy, N2TY, was NY2T. That's it. Was very active in the TARA, the Troy Amateur Radio Association, and so they really pushed the development of the net. And I didn't know anything about traffic handling, so both of those gentlemen were very enthusiastic, and so a group of us started checking in. So every evening at 6:30 local time, we're either on the N2LEN repeater or the repeater out in Grafton now. And they are both available on Echolink nodes, so that's very good.
And a side note to this, if I can interrupt you for a second, a side note to this is Bob KT2D and WO2H were the ones that taught me how to take traffic and handle traffic.
Cool.
And now I'm assistant section traffic manager for Western Massachusetts, and it's all because of Mike Shanahan, WO2H, and Bob KT2D, who went above and beyond to teach this little naive little person how to take traffic.
Peter, you're too modest. No, it's like all we did was give Peter the availability, and then he took the reins and ran with it.
Nice.
And we said, Peter, we'll catch up to you later.
Nice, yeah.
Done very well. And so it's the way the national traffic system is set up is the local nets like the Capital District Traffic Net, services the local area. So if anybody has any health and welfare messages they want to send through the amateur radio system, or as a recipient in the area, that's kind of either the beginning or the end of the chain, however you want. If it's an outgoing message, person can get a hold of an amateur radio operator, and they'll put it on the net, and then it goes up through the usual traffic system, and there's a set number of nodes how it gets handled. It's kind of like FedEx on the air. So there are a bunch of it goes from node to node to the final destination.
So Bob, how many of those messages do you actually handle on a regular basis?
It varies. There are some nights where on the local end it's generally a little lower. Like last night, I picked up one that's going to be delivered locally today on the net. I got it on one of the other higher nets. So as you go up higher, so there's the Capital District Traffic Net, then that goes into a New York section nets, which is a number of similar nets like the Capital District Traffic Net. So there may be 5 or 6 of them that feed into that. So you would imagine there's more traffic that NYS handles. Then that goes to second region, which is New York and New Jersey is the second region. And then it goes to the Eastern Area Network, which is all the regions on the East Coast, basically. And then it goes through what they call the transcontinental core, which is between coasts. And the idea is we don't want a message to sit around from origin to destination. The objective is to have 24 hours. So
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I thought it was 24 hours. Yep.
Yeah, that's the objective. We don't always meet it, but many times we do.
Yeah,
So like during the course of a week, there'll probably be anywhere from a low of 3 or 4 messages to as many as maybe 10 or 15 in the Capital District Traffic Net.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be checking,
more than I expected.
I'll be checking into the Eastern Area net about 2:30 this afternoon. I know I've been gone for a while, and I've talked to Lee. I know Lee moved to Florida. He was at one time net manager for CDTN. So who has taken over the reins of net manager for CDTN?
Well, that's yours truly. After Lee left, we kind of went around, and Mike said, because Mike's the section traffic manager at WO2H, Mike Shanahan, and so since he was doing that, I said, sure, I'll do it, because I'm also the net manager for the New York State CW net. So I said, sure.
Really?
Which poses my next question.
We're talking to a celebrity here.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you?
You're rather accomplished, sir.
So yeah, Bob, why don't you give out the frequencies and the times for CDTN, and then we'll slide over to the CW net.
Sure. So the Capital District Traffic Net every night. So on the week, every night it's at 6:30 local time. So if it's daylight savings time or standard time, it's still 6:30. And on the weekdays, we're on the N2 LEN repeater, 147.150. And then we're on the repeater, and they just changed the name, K2ARI, I think it is. It's out in Grafton. That's on Saturdays and Sundays, and that's 14733. And that's at 6:30.
And are you still on K2ALB once a month?
No, that since since we had an alternate repeater, we stopped going to K2ALB because the reach of the 14733, the Grafton repeater, covered the same amount of area. So to make it easier for folks, we, on the last night of the month, we kept it just those two, and we don't do that anymore.
And for
good memory, Peter.
Yeah, and for the people that live out here,
of course, he remembers the script
you can, because I used to hit it when I first got out here. If you got your antenna up, because mine was up on a tower, but you can actually hit the N2LEN. I remember is the N2TY, so we'll go with that. The N2TY was a little hard to hit because I think somebody told me was Mike or John or somebody said that it was kind of down in the valley and not so good from Berkshire County, but I know they have the Echolinks on them. Do they still have the Echolinks on those machines?
They do, and unfortunately I don't have them with me, but hold on a second. Maybe I will. Give me a second here.
Well, we're going to go to the break, so you can search while we go to the break, and then we'll come back, and then you can answer that question. We'll talk about your CW net. So just hang in there.
Sure.
We will be back here after the break.
You're listening to Ham on WTBR.
Hi, welcome to the future.
The future begins in 10, 9, 8. 8.
Oh, wait a minute.
8.
What, again?
8.
Dude, what the fuck? Who is this guy?
3, 2, 1.
WTBR. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay, here's the thing about yellow snow. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
Learn how to drive, you moron!
Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage, and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool, and kids will do likewise. For advice, visit actagainstviolence.org. Brought to you by MetLife Foundation, National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the Ad Council.
WTBR radar weather for the Pittsfield area. Tonight, partly cloudy. Cold with lows around 6 above. Temperature rising to around 11 after midnight. Northwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wind chill values as low as 9 below after midnight. Wednesday, sunny. Night is cool with highs in the lower 30s. West wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wind chill values as low as 2 below in the morning. Wednesday night, mostly clear in the evening, then becoming partly cloudy. Cold with lows around 13. West wind around 5 miles per hour. Weather forecasts for WTBR FM are provided by the National Weather Service.
A public safety message from FEMA. The best time to prepare for a hurricane is right now. Here's what to do. 1. Make a note of local evacuation routes and be ready to evacuate when advised by local officials. Know where you would go if you needed to leave right away, perhaps a friend's house or a hotel. 2. Pack emergency supplies in your car. Include a battery-powered radio, flashlight, and extra batteries. Pack food. Consider foods that won't spoil, like canned goods, and don't forget that can opener. Store water in plastic bottles and be sure to include extra clothing and rain gear, and make sure you have a credit card handy and some cash. 3. Protect your property. Install storm shutters or have plenty of plywood on hand to protect windows. Remember, be ready to evacuate, pack emergency supplies in your car, and protect your property. Be ready for the next hurricane. To learn more, call your local emergency management office.
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them! Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness!
And we are back on WTBR FM. We're talking about the Capital District Traffic Net and the CW net out there in Eastern New York. Our guest is Bob Dillon, KT2D.
KT2D, that's a nice call sign.
Kilo Tango 2 Delta,
Yep.
who is now the net manager for the Capital
brief, it's
District
to the
Traffic
point.
Net. So during the break, did you find the Echolink links?
I did. So on for the Capital District Traffic Net during the weekdays, like I said, it's the N2LEN repeater. That's 147.15 megahertz, and the Echolink, the repeater N2LEN-R, and the Echolink node is 6269er. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, we're on the KC2IVI. So that's KC2IVI-R, and the Echolink node is 48899.
Nice, thank you.
There you go. So for those who want to check into the Capital District Traffic Net, or I'm sure you need NCS for the Capital District Traffic Net, you can get a hold of Bob. Do you want to put out an email or any contact information?
Yeah, you can send it to me at KT2D, Kilo Tango 2 Delta, at ARRL.net, and that'll get to me. We are always looking for folks that are willing to be net control stations, or even if you don't know about the traffic handling. We're a traffic handling training net, so it's really where folks come in, and, you know, if you don't know anything about it, we've got, you know, we can put exercises together, we get some practice, and so it's very low pressure, very low key, and the idea is,
inclusive,
you know, to help. Not, you know, I mean, we'll give critiques, but it's in a friendly manner because a lot of the stuff is procedural and just to allow and minimize. But we stress accuracy transcends speed, so you don't need to talk fast, you don't need to get, you know, however long it takes to get the message through accurately, that's where we look at. And it's a nice way to meet a lot of nice people. I've met a lot of very nice folks handling traffic on the various nets.
How exactly did you come up with the idea for starting a traffic handling training net?
Well, I wish I could take credit for that one, but that was done long before me. I think the cdtn net, actually, that's how I learned, because when George and Bill Eddy, they were the ones who were running the net when I got my license, and it was already in place back then, so I don't know how far back that goes. There are a number of other ones that do that. Like on Saturdays, there's a hit and bounce net, and that's a CW net. That's usually run along the entire East Coast. There's the Empire Slow Speed net, which meets every evening at 6 o'clock, and Finelli out in Buffalo runs that one, and that's a CW net, but it's strictly slow speed. So, and that's where I started learning how to get into a net using Morse code, because it was slow speed, and so you were able to, you know, get your confidence up and understand the procedures, and so that's and that's very typical of what I found about the hams, the amateur radio community. Everybody has been extremely helpful and patient and very mentoring to bring new hams along, and you know, their enjoyment of the hobby shows. And so it's a nice way to try to give back to the hobby that, you know, has given so much to myself and many others.
So we talked about the phone nets, and I know I got hams listening. Go, yeah, phone nets. Let's get to the CW stuff. So let's get to the CW stuff.
Okay. So there are a number of CW nets, continuous wave or Morse code nets. I'll get to just to let folks know. And every morning at 7:30 is what's called the hit and bounce slow speed traffic net, and that's kind of a learning net as well. It's slow speed, around 10 words a minute, and that's on 7.112 megahertz. And depending on how the band conditions are, you know, you can usually hear everyone from, you know, on the entire East Coast. And then at 8:30 every morning on the very same frequency, 7.112 megahertz, is the hit and bounce net, and that's a regular speed net, which is nominally about 18 words a minute. So that's a nice training. Those are good nets. Then the CW nets, like I said, there's the Empire Slow Speed net for those who want to try it, and that's at 3.569 kilohertz every night at 6 o'clock. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's 3.565. That's 3.565 megahertz every night at 6 o'clock.
How many folks do you have joining you on average?
Let's see. Well, the hit and bounce slow speed net is usually about 13 or 14 check in.
Nice.
And then at the regular hit and bounce net, the fast net, that's 13 or about the same, 13 or 14.
Nice.
And then on the Empire slow speed net, that's very popular. And
I'll bet it is.
It's typically New York State, but there are folks that Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Massachusetts, within the receiving range of the 80-meter band there.
Sure.
And every night, there are some bigger nights, but she probably averages 15 to 20, 22,
cool.
something.
Cool.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. And then getting to the New York State CW net, that's on at 7 o'clock every night, 3569 kilohertz, and it's a regular speed net. We normally run at 18 words a minute nominally, but we will, if somebody comes in who sends, our thing is we don't send any faster than the other person sends to us. So if somebody comes in at 5 words or sends to me at 5 words per minute, I'm not going to machine gun them at 18.
Right.
I'm going to slow down to 5.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
you're a kind person, obviously.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of the etiquette,
Yeah. Oh, that's
and then we
good
have
to
an alternate. If the band is going long, what they say, or the conditions aren't right, then we have an alternate frequency of 1815 kilohertz, and that's at 7 o'clock every night.
And we've had Marcia Ford in here, KW1U. We talked about the first region net from this end of Massachusetts. So what's going on with the second region net?
So the second region net, there are 2 sessions of the second region net at 6:30 every night. It's on 3926 kilohertz, lower sideband. That's a phone net. And then the CW net is on at 7:45 every night on 3565 kilohertz. And so that's the CW portion of it. So normally the traffic that's going from the second region to the local nets, you see it kind of sandwiched on both sides of the New York net. So depending on which direction the traffic's going, incoming or outgoing, they'll pass it along that way. And then at 8:30 every night is the Eastern Area net, where all the second region representative will go to that, and that's on 3569 kilohertz. That's at 8:30 every night. I know there's a phone, I think at 2:30, Peter, that you probably go to. Eastern Area at 2:30, and I think that's on the 40-meter band. I don't have the frequency offhand.
Yeah, 7.244.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7244.
7244 at 2:30. I'll be there. I do Wednesday nights. Wednesday I NCS at 2 o'clock for the first region net, and then they send me over. We call it the circuit. Then they send me over the Eastern Area net to be first region representative, and then that's at 2:30, and then at 3:30 is part 2 of the first region net. So I'm all over the place, and then of course the Western Mass traffic nets at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. The heavy hitters traffic net via Echolink at 10 a.m. Let's see. So I think one question we missed is, because I asked this of everybody, I asked this of Marcia and of everybody else, what lured you into, of everything that can be done in amateur radio, what lured you into traffic handling?
Oh boy, I don't know. I got to think about that, because I just one day I found myself doing it. I think it was the intrigue, because at that time I was getting into amateur radio. I was trying new things, You don't have to do Morse code anymore, but I wanted to do that. And then I got into doing some digital stuff with Bill Eddie Ritty and PS31, PSK. And then I got into a little bit of Pactor as well to do, digital message handling. So I think it was the idea, 2 things for me. I think it was something new. I thought it was... it would be another avenue that I could help hone my newly acquired Morse code skills and keep that up and get a little better. And probably the other thing is that it seemed like a good skill to have, to be able to handle traffic in case of emergencies when the power grid goes down, and all the cell phones, your cell phone may work, but if the towers are down, you're dead. And so being able to handle things in that case, and I thought that would be a good skill to have.
And so for the new hams that are listening, or the non-hams, like the one sitting across the desk from me here, that happen to be listening
Right under the bus.
on WTBR
Right under the bus.
FM, what do you suggest as far as, okay, maybe I want to try this traffic handling stuff. Everybody's talking about it. We've been talking about it for weeks on this show with various people, Marcia and KB1 LRL, Ray and John Fritzy, and now you. And Sean was here, K2NEL. What would you tell the people out there who might want to consider getting into traffic handling, and where they can go to learn what I learned from the people I've learned from KT2D, WO2H?
Yeah, I say, well, the first thing you do, call the radio station and ask Peter where it is.
Yeah, exactly.
See, now I get thrown under the bus from Latham, New York. You see this?
No, but because you're well connected, Peter. You've got folks here in New York. You're well connected into the Massachusetts folks. And the other thing, if they go to the ARRL webpage, www.arrl.org, and they can search for traffic handling. And in there, if they look at their region, you can drill down through their menus, and you'll find Traffic Next, section traffic managers and net managers. And so in their area, they can there's contact information in there, and they can contact one of those folks, and they'll be glad to help them. And if they hear any of the nets, just check in. Just check in and introduce yourself and say that you're interested, and there'll be plenty of folks willing to help.
And for the Eastern New York folks, if you get a hold of Bob, or I think even if you get a hold of Mike Shanahan, WO2H, they can help you out and set up on in-service training on the nets. I know I've done it on K1FFK up here at the Mount Greylock machine. I've done a few traffic net, yes, brain fart. Traffic handling tutorials and trainings, which is kind of stuff I actually stole from WO2H and KT2D, but they trained me. They
stole.
Said, well, literally
creative collaboration.
Yeah. But I think somebody in Eastern New York says, hey, I want to get into this. I think Bob will accommodate, and I know probably do some stuff up on the repeaters.
Fun.
Sure, absolutely.
Fun.
Yep.
All right, so we've got about a minute and a half, so it's been fun. So any last things you want to put out, or you want the folks to know here in the broadcast range of WTBR FM, or later on online and on the podcasts and wherever this thing goes?
Sure. First of all, thanks, Peter, and your colleague for having me on. It's very nice. And it's a nice job you're doing to get the word out. And I got into it just out of curiosity. I was interested as a kid, but it's brought me hours and hours of enjoyment. And it's a nice hobby that you can get into. As one of my friends says, you can spend right up to the tolerance level of your spouse.
I forgot to do the introductions. Let me do them real quick.
Yeah.
The non-ham is my daughter Jessie, who
How you
is
doing?
who I'm.
Hi Jessie, how are you?
Yeah,
we're doing good. Thank you, sir.
And our other groupie over on the other microphone is KC1LIW.
Thank you. You got it right.
I got
this
it
time.
right. Susie
That's
Colpitz, who
That's me.
joined the team here at Ham On, who is actually a licensed ham operator who's learning stuff every week that we do this.
That's correct.
Did you say Susie?
That's me.
Yeah. Hey, hello.
Hi.
So
yeah,
real
so
quick,
nice
because we're really out of time here.
I hope to meet you in
the
real
trivia
life.
question: before he died in 1999, this ham used his first name when talking to other hams on the radio, but his loyal subjects probably addressed him as Your Highness. Who is it?
I don't remember.
King Hussein of Jordan.
Thank you.
No way.
Okay, so Bob, it was nice. We're like really out of time.